Coming up on today's show.
And our bills were being paid late, not because we didn't have the money, because I was missing bill payments because my paper was so disorganized.
As you go through, is this just mail or is this all papers? I mean, because it would seem like that would maybe fill up pretty quickly, wouldn't it, to do once a week?
So it was a Sunday night and it was 8 o'clock. My husband and both the kids were asleep already and I had some extra energy and I decided enough is enough. I took all of that paperwork in on my family room floor and I finally divided it into the piles.
Sunday Basket Organizing today on Keeping You Organized. Hello, welcome to Keeping You Organized. Now, we release this podcast on a Wednesday, so you're wondering why we're talking about Sunday on a Wednesday. Well, you actually might be watching this on a Sunday if you're watching the replay on it, but we're going to talk about Sunday Basket Organizing. Now, you may or may not have heard of that term before, but if you have, then you probably know who Lisa Woodruff is from Organize365.com. Lisa, welcome to Keeping You Organized.
Thanks, John. It's great to be back.
So yeah, we had a great time on our last podcast with you, and I knew we were going to have you back because you're so full of information, which is great. And I know you do a podcast as well, right?
I do. I have two. One's called The Sunday Basket, and another one's called Organize 365.
Okay, so now you have a whole podcast on the Sunday Basket, so that'll be pretty cool.
I do.
We will, by the way, put links to that in our show notes. But let's get back to the beginning. What was the genesis of this Sunday Basket concept? And we'll kind of find out what it is, and for those who maybe haven't heard of it before.
Well, all good things come out of a struggle or turmoil. And this was about 15 years ago. I had two small babies. I was running a business from home. I'm an organized person and I could not keep up with my paperwork. I couldn't keep up with the mail and the adoption paperwork and the medical paperwork. And it was literally just stacked like 18 inches high on the end of my kitchen counter. It was individual sheets of paper. And even if I had 15, 20 minutes to tackle that paper, I didn't even have enough time to divide it into piles to figure out what was there and needed action. Our bills were being paid late, not because we didn't have the money, because I was missing bill payments because my paper was so disorganized. So it was a Sunday night and it was 8 o'clock. My husband and both the kids were asleep already and I had some extra energy and I decided enough is enough. I took all of that paperwork in on my family room floor and I finally divided it into the piles. And there were 40 actionable piles. And I think I just used paper clips at the time. And I paper clipped each kind of thing, like bills to pay, medical bills to research, whatever. And I had a Longaberger obsession at the time, which is an Ohio-based neat basket company. It was a Sunday. I had a basket and I put my 40 now what I call slash pockets now into that basket. And every Sunday after that, I would Sunday night go ahead and go through all those and figure out what I needed to do for the week. It took me about 6 to 8 weeks to get on top of that paper, but that was the start of me being back in control of my paperwork and not my paper in control of me.
Okay. Well, this sounds like probably a real common issue for people. Mm-hmm. And, I think the basket, you like the baskets. Is that the reason you chose a basket or because they're from your area? Or is there maybe another reason why a basket is the actual holding device?
Well, I had these expensive baskets that I loved, and that one had handles. I could put it under my arm. Now I have a box that I sell that's called the Sunday Basket. Any box, bag, tote, basket that's about the size of a large watermelon will work.
Well, doesn't that also depend on how? I mean, are you saying we're going to deconstruct this a little bit? So as you go through, is this just mail or is this all papers? I mean, because it would seem like that would maybe fill up pretty quickly, wouldn't it, to do once a week?
It does fill up pretty quickly, but that watermelon size tends to be the right amount after you've done this about 6 to 8 weeks. It is for mail. It's for all those papers that come at you, like if you have children, they bring them in from school, or your spouse brings something home from work that you need to fill out. But also, I would say 50% now of my Sunday basket are just note cards to myself. I've already written myself 4 notes today that will go in there. Like my kids say, I need a dermatologist appointment, or my belt broke this morning. I need a new belt. Like, how do you remember that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff? So I just write it down. It all goes in the basket and I deal with it on Sunday. Anything that can wait until Sunday waits, especially as women. We have so much coming at us from so many different directions and so many different passions that we have that we cannot take action on everything immediately. We need a time to go through, see if those actions are still actionable, and then plan out our actions that we want to take.
Well, this is very intriguing, and we're going to get into the process of the Sunday basket, but you have a whole podcast on this. So what are some of the topics? I'm just curious, what are some of the topics on your podcast about the Sunday basket?
Well, the first 8 episodes are just how to make a Sunday basket. It sounds like it would be so easy to do, but actually people are like, well, what kind of papers and how do I divide them and how do I can't get it all done. How do I get it all done? And then the podcasts after that are about specific paper organizing. So it's really a paper organizing podcast.
Oh, great. Okay. So, well, listen, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I want to talk about the process, because I'm sure it's more than just dumping everything into this basket. You actually got to do something once you hit Sundays, it sounds like. So we're going to deconstruct and find all about how you do the Sunday basket. When we come back, we're with Lisa Woodruff with Organize365.com here on Keeping You Organized, and we will be right back.
Now there's a place just for you. Life can be busy, and you still have to keep it all together. That's why you like to be organized and in control. Introducing MyOrganize.life, a special place where you can get ideas and solutions to organize what's important to you, your important papers, your important decisions, your important life events. We show you the ideas and products to stay organized in your life. See what's new. Stop by and say hello. Visit us at any time at www.myorganize.life. It's just for you. MyOrganize.life by Smead. Find us at www.myorganize.life. MyOrganize.life.
We're back now on Keeping You Organized, talking about how to organize using a Sunday basket. And this is a tool and a concept and a system developed by Lisa Woodruff from Organize365.com. Lisa, so we kind of, before the break, we were talking a little bit about, how you started this and, why you choose a basket or a watermelon-sized holding container. But let's start getting into the steps, because I think we all know what step one is. Every time you find something that's,
Yes.
You throw it in the mail. Now, like in our house, for example, with the mail, let's just say, people bring it in and, they want to sort it as they're walking in. And, some people take their mail right away. Some of don't you think you just take some of it that is junk mail and throw it out, or do you just put it all in the basket? Let's start with that step right there.
I put it all in the basket.
Okay.
Like sometimes on Monday and Tuesday, I might sort it a little bit, but pretty much I just put it all in the basket, because what we're trying to do is really prioritize our time and get more time during the week. So if Monday through Friday, you literally don't even have to change the batteries in your child's toy, you can put the toy in the basket because it can wait until Sunday. Every single thing that can wait until Sunday must wait until Sunday is step one.
Okay. So you have to kind of know maybe some deadlines, or there are some parameters. Not everything can go in there because you're kind of, some things might be more urgent, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. But for the most part, almost 99% of mail can go in there. If it came in the mailbox, it usually can wait a week.
Yeah. Now, we've done other podcasts, and once in a while someone will come up with the concept, maybe you have a file system on your desktop and you have the to be filed file. Is this is a little bit different, because it's not just about filing and those papers. There's maybe physical items in there too, it sounds like.
Yes, like if you get a quart of paint, like we're going to get new windows. And I just found out I have to paint all of the trim, like I have to touch up all the trim. So I'll go get a quart of paint. That'll sit in my Sunday basket until I do that project.
Okay.
So anything that is project related, actionable to-dos, this is all actionable to-dos. A lot of that is paper, but some of it is not. Any actionable to-do can go in the Sunday basket.
Okay. Now, where do you keep yours, by the way? Is there a recommended place where you set this basket or box or whatever?
Oh, John, this is such a hot topic.
Ooh.
I say it needs to be in the
That
kitchen.
sounds like a whole
and
podcast episode,
And
right?
all of a sudden, like I got all this backlash. Oh my gosh, it can't be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I did not expect such a backlash. I say the kitchen because if it's in the kitchen, So the Sunday basket is the owner of the Sunday basket. So it's my Lisa Woodruff's Sunday basket.
Right.
But my husband puts receipts in there. The kids know to put stuff in there, but they don't take stuff out of the Sunday basket. If it's in the kitchen, it's real easy for people to add to it. If it's upstairs in an office or in some other room, your family doesn't necessarily add to your Sunday basket as easily.
Right. Well, it sounds like too, if it's a typical household, if you don't have a Sunday basket, you have the counter, and that's where everything ends up landing anyway. So in your home, is it like on a counter, on the floor? Is it kind of off to the side? I mean, how would that
Yeah,
work?
in all fairness, we have a ridiculous amount of kitchen counters. My husband
Okay.
even has a Sunday basket too, so we
Okay.
have room for lots of Sunday baskets in
Yeah.
our kitchen.
That was the next question I was going to ask. Is there a time when you have more than one, or one per person?
Yes, especially like again, I'm a woman, so I'll just go from a woman's perspective. I have my household Sunday basket.
Oh,
But when I was handling my father's estate and his caregiving responsibilities, I had a separate basket for him. So I would sort mail into his basket. I also will be coming out in April with business baskets for direct sales, homeschool, home-based businesses, teachers, a separate basket for your work,
okay.
separate from your household basket.
Okay. All right. So let's get through. Is there any other stuff that happens Monday through Saturday other than just putting stuff in there? Are there any checkpoints or what if someone sneaks in there to grab something, or they go, or if someone say, hey, where is this such and such? You go, well, check the sun. I mean, do you do that? We say, we can go check the Sunday basket. It might be in there, or is it hands off?
Yes, you try to keep as hands off as much as possible because it frees your time up Monday through Saturday because you're going to need time on
Yeah.
Sunday to go through this basket. So you need to free up your time. However, the best testimonies I get over and over and over again are when spouses call each other on the phone and the person who's doing the Sunday baskets can say, oh, that's in the red file or that's in this. And they feel like $1,000,000 because finally they know where their stuff is. And when that crisis arises or the unexpected happens, they know where their actionables to do are. Even if they've deferred them till Sunday, they know where they are if they need them sooner.
Okay, great. So now did we address really what you do with the mail, or what are any other steps the Monday through Saturday, or are we ready to dig into Sunday night?
I think we're ready to dig into
Okay,
Sunday night.
let's dig into Sunday night. What do? You go in and you find this huge basket with all kinds of stuff into it. Where do you start?
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to need to set aside at least an hour, usually 2 hours to go through it. And people go, oh my gosh, 2 hours. Well, you're spending it anyway during the week. It frees up your mind during the week. So step one, you completely empty the basket so it's 100% empty and a cat can climb in there. Okay, so it has to be empty.
Okay.
Open up all the mail, recycle, shred, do what you normally do with your mail. I tear off my, just the part that I return when I send in a bill or something like that. And then after everything is already opened and you have just your actionable items, then you divide those into different piles. And then I have actions that you take on the piles. There are some piles that you do every single week, and some piles that are more like projects and goals that you check, but you don't necessarily do those projects every single week.
Okay, here would be a temptation for me. Tell me how we deal with this. So I got these piles and I see something, oh, yeah, I need to deal with that, but not right now. Do I put it back in the Sunday box, or what do I do with it?
Yes, so I divide them. I no longer use paper clips anymore. I use plastic color-coded slash pockets, or you could use file folders if you want to use
Yeah.
Smead file folders. But I like slash pockets, and I divide everything up by color. And so the rule is, if you only have 30 minutes this Sunday to go through your Sunday basket, and it can wait until next Sunday, just put it right back in there. Now,
Mhm.
people say, well, then it's not getting done. Well, it wasn't getting done before either. But now you are prioritizing the things that have to get done before next Sunday because we have way too many things we want to get done or people ask us to get done. And so we need to prioritize what has to get done in the next 7 days. And also, sometimes things naturally fall off your list
Right.
of getting done just because they wait week after week after week. And that's okay.
Right. So what are those tabs? What do they say on there? Is that proprietary
are-
labels?
No. I share everything. These are the basic 5. This is what you start with in your Sunday basket. And you divide things up into red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. So red is things that have to be done this week. Orange is anything that needs to go on your calendar or to be done on the computer, like things you need to order. Yellow is for anything that's done outside of the house, like errands. Green is for money and mail, and blue are things you're waiting for. Like I filed the information to get a refund, but I haven't gotten the refund yet. So I would put that in blue because I'm just waiting for that refund to come in. Just reminds me I already did that work.
Okay, do those slash jackets or folders or whatever you have there, do they stay in the basket all week long, or are they in another holder? Okay.
They do. They stay in the basket all week long, and I also have the second set that you get when you expand your Sunday basket. They stay in there all week long, and as you get the mail, some people are tempted to like, oh, I should open my mail and put them in the right slash pockets. No, we do all that on Sunday. Like the goal is to do as little as possible until Sunday.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Okay, what other steps are there? So you've kind of sorted it into these different color categories that all have different agendas, I guess you could say. What's next after that?
So the two that are going to take the most time are orange and green. And orange is where you put everything on the calendar and order everything online and look up everything online that you need to look up. This is how you're allocating your time, because that's when you do your calendar. And green is when you go through and you pay your bills and you look at all the requests that have come in for your money and you look at how your 401k is doing and all of that. So these are how you organize your time and your money each week. And each of these pockets take me about 40 minutes a week to do.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know it's time, but I get so much time during the week. It's so worth it for me.
So so you'll take and maybe do all the calendar entries. You go to your calendar, you enter everything. Then what do you do with that piece of paper that maybe relates to a calendar entry?
So after I put it on my calendar, I throw it away or I recycle it.
Okay. Because a lot of times it might be
And
a
I
little
have
card,
teenagers.
right? Or it might be a piece of
So
paper.
I'm running 4 Google Calendars plus
Oh
a
my
work
gosh.
Google Calendar. And this is also when I look at my next week, figure out when I have time. Planning is a big part of the Sunday basket. I look and see when do I have large chunks of time to do my thinking work, my podcast recording, my work with my team. You know, what do my kids need me to do this week? So prioritizing your time and figuring out where your time's going to go next week, especially if you work for yourself as I do, is really important. Otherwise, all of a sudden the time is all gone and you haven't gotten any of your big rock work done.
Right. Well, Lisa, we have run out of time for this piece of it. I know there's more we need to talk about, you know, as far as even things like project management and getting into the other folders. Do you have time to come back on our next episode to kind of wrap this up?
Sure.
Okay, folks, that's the tease for next time. We'll bring Lisa back. We'll wrap up the process. We'll also talk about how you use the Sunday basket to do things like organizing projects and things like that as well, and maybe some of the common things that all people run into when dealing with paper management. So join us next time. Lisa, before we go, why don't you let people know how they can get a hold of you and what kind of services you offer?
Sure. If you just go to organize365.com, you could find everything there. The Organize 365 podcast helps you organize your home, and the Sunday Basket podcast helps you organize your paper.
Great. All right, folks, there you have it. We'll have all the information in the show notes as well at sme.com/podcast. And we'll see you next time with Lisa Woodruff right back here on Keeping You Organized.